Canadian Food Inspection Agency has confirmed avian flu, better known as bird flu, has been detected in 2 southwestern Ontario poultry flocks. Now, while the virus itself isn't new and has been in Canada before, the current spring bird migration season is bringing with it big concerns for farmers and those with urban chicken coops.
It is a devastating disease for commercial or poultry operations.
Dr. Mary Jane Ireland at the CFIA not mincing words when it comes to the highly pathogenic avian flu starting to grow in the United States and in Canada.
Infected birds can shed avian influenza virus in their saliva, their nasal secretions, their feces, and it can also spread through contact with surfaces that are contaminated with the virus from infected birds, like clothing, shoes, litter, feed, and water.
With H5N1 in Nova Scotia and Newfoundland at the end of 2021 and earlier this year, the 2 confirmed cases in southwestern Ontario aren't believed to be connected, but both likely linked to wild migratory birds.
We expect that we will find other situations of avian influenza, and that's why it is very important right now with these migratory birds to take all the measures.
The recent cases also prompting the Toronto Zoo to temporarily shut its doors to visitors at its aviary areas. Ireland says not all wild birds may show signs of the disease, but commercial and domestic birds are particularly susceptible to high numbers of disease and death. She adds it rarely affects humans, and if so, only those with direct contact with birds.
Ontario is Canada's largest province in terms of production of these poultry and egg products. And so, we need to make sure we're doing everything we can to guard that supply and maintain the trust of Canadians in the products that we sell.
Lisa Bishop-Spencer at the Chicken Farmers of Canada says a 24-hour multi-stakeholder command center is tracking the issue, adding farmers are restricting on-site access, cleaning wheel wells, and regularly changing footwear as part of their precautions.
Effects are quite devastating if it gets into a flock. So it's not a question of just sort of trying to monitor which birds get it, it's trying to monitor which flocks get it. So we want to make sure that we try to keep it out if it's out and keep it in if it gets in.
Meanwhile, back at the CFIA,
it is extremely important for bird owners, and that includes those with backyard flocks, no matter what the size or species, as well as commercial poultry producers, to have very strict biosecurity measures in place.
Ireland sharing these tips. Keep poultry, domestic birds, and coops away from areas frequented by wild birds. Regularly clean water, feeders, coops, and clothing. And if you're introducing new birds, keep those separate for a while to monitor their health. Also, monitor for signs of the virus and report suspected cases to CFIA immediately. For more on this story, go to citynews.ca. In Toronto for City News, I'm Nick Westoll.